Hello everybody. So we're going to continue with lesson 10.2. Our title of our lesson is AM and PM. We're on page 411 of the third grade Go Math textbook. And our essential question that we should be able to answer by the end of the lesson is, how can you tell when to use AM and PM with time? All right, well, let's look at the unlock the problem. Lauren's family is going hiking tomorrow at 7. How should Lauren write the time to show that they are going in the morning, not in the evening? Going in the morning. So circle the helpful information. They're going hiking at 7, and I need to find out what time the hike is. 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. All right, so you can use a number line to show the sequence or order of events. It can help you understand the number of hours in a day. So think, the distance from one mark to the next mark represents 1 hour. All right, so 12 midnight, we notice that it's in the green section, or the AM. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then it goes to 12 noon. Okay, so everything from 1 a.m. to 12 noon, we say is AM. From 12 noon to 12 midnight, we say is PM. And so if we look at the word AM, the letters AM, that stands for ante meridiem, which means before midnight. I'm sorry, before noon. Let me back up. Okay, so ante meridiem means before noon, and so the hours we have here from midnight to 12 noon are the AM hours, ante meridiem. PM, or post meridiem, means afternoon. All right, so ante before noon, post afternoon. So tell the time after midnight. So midnight is 12 at night. The times after midnight and before noon are written with AM. So 7 in the morning is written as 7 a.m. So Lauren should write the hiking time as 7 a.m. They're going before noon. Okay, so not the evening hours. The evening hours would be PM. So find the mark that shows 7 a.m. on the number line above and circle the mark. 7 a.m. right there would be 7 a.m. All right, 412. Callie's family is going for a canoe ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How should Callie write the time? So remember, noon is 12 o'clock in the daytime. The times after noon and before midnight are written with PM. So post meridiem, afternoon. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon would be written as 3 p.m. So that's how she should write her time, 3 p.m. So name 2 things you do in the AM hours. Well, I don't know. Eat breakfast. Go to school. Something like that. Okay. PM hours. Eat dinner. in the PM hours. I might do my homework if I'm a student. So just anything that you would do after 12 noon. What are some things you would do from 12 noon to say 9 o'clock at night? All right, number 2, ride a bicycle, AM or PM. So let's look at the clock. So the hour hand is in between 4 and 5, so it's 4. And the minute hand is pointing right at the 4, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20. So 4:20. Would you be riding a bicycle at 4:20 in the morning? No, I don't think so. Most people might be riding it in the afternoon, like when they get home from school. So 4:20 p.m. is more realistic. All right, how about making a sandwich? Well, the hour hand is in between 11 and 12, so it's 11. And the hour hand is after the 6, but before the 7. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, there is a quicker way of doing this. We don't have to always do 5, 10, 15, 20, okay? We know that there's 6 sets of 5 minutes. So 6 times 5 is 30. So I could quickly just say, okay, it's after 11:30. And then I'm going to count each of the little marks in between. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 11:34. Now, when do most people make a sandwich? Could you make a sandwich just before midnight? Yeah, you could. But when do most people make a sandwich? Most people would make it at 11:34. And we usually eat about 12 noon. Okay, so 11:34 a.m. All right, well, 8:12, and it says get ready for bed. Well, let's say our school starts at 8 o'clock. I hope you're not getting ready to go to sleep at 8:12 in the morning because we're in school. It's the morning hours. So 8:12 p.m. Number 5. This morning, Sam woke up at the time shown on this clock. Write the time using AM or PM. Okay, it said this morning. That's my clue. So the time on the clock, the hour hand is almost at the 8. So it's actually still 7. And it's past the 10. So each mark is worth 5. 10 times 5 is 50. But if we can't do that, we can just obviously count by 5s. We should be able to multiply 10 times 5. All right, so we know it's at 50, but the minute hand is past the 10 and before the 11. So it's not to 55 yet. It's 2 marks before it or 3 minutes after the 50. So it's 7:53. And it says, this morning Sam woke up. So he woke up at 7:53 a.m. Must be a Saturday. He's going to be late to school if he doesn't get up earlier than 7:53. All right, 4:13. Write the time for the activity, use AM or PM. Eat breakfast. Okay, again, most people, breakfast is considered AM hours. So 7:17 a.m. Have science class. Okay, it's between 1 and 2. So it's 1 o'clock. And the minute hand's pointing right at the 4. 4 times 5 is 20. You could also skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 1:20. Now, nobody's taking a science class at 1:20 after midnight. We're taking it 1:20 afternoon. So 1:20 p.m. Play softball. So the hour hand is just starting to move past the 4. So it's 4 something. The minute hand is past the 1. So it's 5 minutes. And then where is the minute hand pointing? So 5, 6, 7, 8. 4:08. Okay, well, again, we don't play softball at 4:08 a.m. in the morning. We would play in the afternoon. So in p.m. 4:08 p.m. All right, go to the store. You could make an argument for the aim on that one, but most people wouldn't get up that early to go grocery shopping or to go buy something from the store. A lot of stores aren't open at 5:55 in the morning. So I think it's more reasonable to say 5:55 p.m. afternoon. Leave on a morning airplane flight. So the hour hand is in between 8 and 9, so it's 8 o'clock. The minute hand is past the 7, so 7 times 5 is 35. If I need to count forward, I count by 5s until I get to the 7. Okay, so we're at 7:35, and then we have to count the minute marks. So 7:35 and 1 minute past the 7. So, sorry, I said 7. 8:35. 1 minute past the 7 would be 8:36. Okay, and then it said on a morning flight, so AM. All right, look up at stars. It's in between 9 and 10. So the hour is 9. The minute hand has not reached the 5. So 4 times 5, 20. Okay. So again, if I had to count forward, I go 5, 10, 15, 20. And I'm not going to count 5 as 25 because we're not there yet. Okay. So then once I reach the 20, I'm going to count how many 1 minute marks past the 4 is it. So it's 20, 21, 22, 23. So 9:23. And we're looking up at the stars. That's PM. Okay, it needs to be dark out, right? 9:23 PM. 9:23 AM, the sun's out. There's daylight. All right, write the time using AM or PM. 9:15 in the morning. So on a clock, there's 4 quarters. On the hour, at like midnight or 12 noon, 3, 6, and 9. So a quarter after 9. So the minute hand would be pointing at the 3 if it's a quarter after 9. So how much is the 3? 5, 10, 15. So 9:15 a.m. 6 minutes after 7 in the morning. All right. 7:06 in the morning a.m. 1/2 hour past midnight. Midnight is at 12 a.m. So half an hour past that would be 12:30. Remember, there's only 60 minutes in an hour. So if you take half of 60, that would be 30. So 12:30 a.m. 18 minutes before noon. Okay. So, as we said, there's 60 minutes in an hour. And we're going to stop 18 minutes before noon or before the next hour. So how many minutes have passed? Well, I can't take 8 from nothing. So I'll regroup from the 6 tens and change that to 5 tens and 10 ones. 10 take away 8 is 2. 5 tens take away 1 10 is 4 tens. So 42. So 18 minutes before noon means it would be 11:42 a.m. Okay, if I wasn't confident about that, I could go to one of the clocks, okay, and I need to find 18 minutes before noon. Okay, so before noon means it's going to be 11 o'clock. The hour should make sense, okay? It can't be 18 minutes before, say, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock's not midnight, not noon. So we're looking for before noon, 18 minutes before noon. So we can go 5, 10, 15, and then 3 individual marks. 1, 2, 3. So right there. So it's at 42. Okay. So you can get a clock and count backwards. So 11:42. Because the minute hand would be pointing at the minute mark that's 2 marks past the 8. So 11:42. Daylight savings time begins on the second Sunday in March at 2 o'clock in the morning. Write the time. All right. 2 in the morning, a.m. All right. 17. From midnight to noon each day, how many times does the minute hand on a clock pass 6? From midnight to noon each day. So there's 12 hours from midnight to noon. How many times will the minute hand pass 6? Well, won't the minute hand pass the 6 once every hour? For instance, it would pass it at 12:30. Okay, 12:30 a.m., 1:30 a.m., 2:30 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Because the minute hand, if it's passing the 6, is 30 minutes past the hour. 4:30 a.m., 5:30 a.m., and we're going to stop at 11:30 a.m. So 6:30 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 8:30, 9:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m. So that's how you can do it visually proving it. Okay. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hours. Well, that makes sense. There's 12 hours from midnight to noon. And so the minute hand has to pass the 6 12 times, once an hour. So 12 times, once per hour for 12 hours. All right, 4:14. Leah and her father arrived at the scenic overlook 15 minutes before noon and left 12 minutes after noon. Using AM or PM, write the time when Leah and her father arrived at the scenic overlook and the time they left. All right, what do I need to find? When they arrived and left. When they arrived and when they left. What do you need to find first? Well, when they got there. All right, show the steps you used to solve the problems. It says 15 minutes before noon. So if it was 12 o'clock, that's noon, right? So I can rewrite 12 noon as 11 hours and 60 minutes, right? When the minute hand reaches the 60th minute in the 11th hour, it would be 12 noon. 60 minutes minus 15 minutes. Okay, so we're at the 12 on the clock, the minute hand. We're backing up 15 minutes. What number would we be on? We'd be on the 9. So 5 taken from nothing, I can't do that. So I'll regroup the 6 tens as 5 tens and 10 ones. 10 take away 5 is 5. 5 take away 1 is 4. So it'll be 11:45 a.m. Okay, so on a clock, we know that that's 12, 9, 6, and 3. Okay, and we want 15 minutes before noon. So we're going to back up 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. So the minute hand's pointing at the 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So they arrived at 11:45 a.m. They left 12 minutes after noon. So noon is 12 and 12 minutes after noon. So 12:12 p.m. All right, number 19. The Davis family spent the day at the lake. Write the letter for each activity next to the time they did it. They went swimming soon after lunch. Okay. They ate breakfast at home. They watched the sunset over the lake. They got to the lake cabin in the morning and had sandwiches for lunch. All right, so let's kind of just put these things in a number order. So they couldn't have went swimming before they ate breakfast at home. They couldn't have watched the sunset over the lake before eating breakfast at home. They couldn't have ate breakfast at home after they got to the lake cabin in the morning because it says ate breakfast at home. So ate breakfast at home is first. Then they would have gotten to the lake cabin. Then they would have had lunch and then went swimming because it says swimming after lunch. And the last thing they did was watch sunset. All right. So now let's looking at our times here. Which time on there is the earliest in the morning? 7 a.m., right? So I'm going to put the letter B there. So they ate breakfast first, and then they got to the lake cabin in the morning. Notice that we only have 1 a.m. and the rest are p.m.s. So they got to the cabin at 9:50 a.m. The third thing we said that I did was had sandwiches for lunch. Well, if that's third, which one would come first out of these remaining three? 12:15 p.m., 1:30 p.m., or 7 p.m.? 12:15 p.m. And so that would be E. Then they went swimming after lunch and before watching the sunset. So that would be 1:30 p.m. And finally, watched the sunset over the lake at 7 p.m. Okay. All right. So that's it for the idea of AM and PM. So the next time we meet, we'll be talking about measuring time intervals. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.